How does it feel standing this close to greatness? Are you not mesmerized? Do you not have chills running up and down your pretty little spines? His program is the reflection of perfection. His weekly show gets all the attention. And when you're the greatest high school football coach in the state of Minnesota, they got a name for you. They don't call you a great coach. They call you Garrett Mueller. Play his music.
All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. And every time I step up in the building, everybody hands go up. And they stay there, and they say yeah, and they say there.
Hey, what's up, Tiger Nation, and welcome into Tuesdays with Mueller. This is episode number 39. I'm Adam Peterson, co-host to the GOAT. I think it's over my left shoulder. I've been studying this. The man
50-50.
in charge of our football program, Garrett Mueller. How you doing, Coach?
I'm good. Hey, we're in a great mood here. You know, we're about to kick off playoffs. Most exciting time of the year. Just wrapped up another undefeated district championship, 3 in a row. So we're feeling good.
Yeah, just an amazing game. We'll get to that in just a second. Before we get to that, though, important week, kind of pregame Thursday night. You did something really cool. We were kind of looking at the video together before we came on air. You got to tell me about this, where it came from. Obviously, we've seen it probably on Twitter from other schools doing it, but you were able to implement here with our cancer kind of fundraising. Moms tackling kids. You got to tell me about it. Maybe your top couple moms that we need to sign up for Tiger Nation.
Yeah, well, yeah, right. That's true. Keep an eye on right. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree here for a few of these guys. Clearly, we found out where they got some of that ability there out on the football field. But no, it was a really fun event. Kind of the first time we've done this, and kind of partnered with our National Honor Society, and it have been for the last several years. So with our tackle cancer game, usually we pick one game a year that we designate as our tackle cancer game, and we have some different fundraising going on along the week leading up to that game, and then on game day that benefits the Randy Shaver Tackle Cancer Fund, and all that money kind of goes back toward supporting cancer research here in the state of Minnesota, which is great. It stays kind of local for all the families that are affected by that. And we've all been affected in some shape or form. So I think it's a really meaningful and impactful thing that we can do as a program to help out, that organization. But I do have to give a lot of credit to our National Honor Society, who did a great job. Melinda Kiefer, who was a science teacher here at the high school, kind of heads up a lot of that stuff for me, and takes a lot of it off my plate, and some of the students that are involved with that. It was actually her idea. She had seen it somewhere, I can't remember where, but she brought the idea to my attention. I said, yeah, that sounds awesome. I think we'd have a lot of takers for that opportunity. Yeah. And so sure enough, we sent it out to families and said, hey, anyone interested, you can come essentially make a donation to the Tackle Cancer Fund in exchange for strapping up the helmet and shoulder pads and putting a hit on your football player. So it was a lot of fun. Wasn't sure how it would go or what kind of turnout we would get necessarily for the first time, but we had a huge crowd there. A lot of families came to watch and support, and it was great energy. We did it right after practice before our team meal on Thursday. And it just turned out to be a great event overall.
Yeah, when we were waiting for your Tiger Walk, a lot of moms were saying, I can't wait till next year. I want to do it again next year. So I think word's gotten out that it was a lot of fun, huge success, which is great just in terms of the project that supports too. Speaking of the Tiger Walk, 6:15, you said. We were waiting in anticipation. Brody on the fence, just gripping the fence, waiting for Dad and his team to come out. What was the delay?
Say we got
or were you on time and you just wanted us there early?
Yeah, well, and that's probably my MO. I get a lot of flack for maybe not always being prompt with some of my timelines. Yeah. But yeah, we just got a little behind in meetings. One of those games where you just want to make sure all your I's are dotted and T's are crossed there before you take the field, I guess. And so a little behind on our normal timeline inside. Took a little more time maybe than what we normally do with our pregame walkthrough. But also want to make sure our guys didn't feel rushed through their process and getting ready for the game. So a little late coming out there, but we don't need a lot of time to get warmed up and get ready to rock once we hit the field. So it was great once we got there.
I'll tell you. I will tell you, I've watched you since you started this, and just watching the guys walk out. I have never. This is the number one game. If somebody were to say number one game, that I have never seen a group of football players so focused, like
Oh,
locked in, walking out there. They were not laughing. They were ready to go. And I was like, what did he
on
say to
point.
them inside? I remember walking away, and there was somebody standing next to me. I
Good.
go, we're gonna win the district title tonight. We're gonna
Here
win
we
the
go.
district title tonight.
Yep. It's
They were
already
locked in. Did
already
you
done. They
feel
were.
that?
Yeah, all week, just well, and being such a short, compressed week, it was tough. When you have such a great opponent that you're getting prepared for. We're used to kind of our normal weekly routine and going through that, and everything was expedited on a short week. Coming off the Pine Island game and playing on a Wednesday as opposed to a Friday. So you have 1 or 2 less days of preparation and stuff like that. And both teams are in the same boat. So Lourdes was the same way for us. But our guys had a great approach, knowing that they had a short amount of time to get ready, really maximize the opportunity that they had to get ready for that game. Yeah, I'm very proud of just the way they came out, their mindset, ready to rock. They knew they were going to be in for a battle a little bit, and they were going to get Lourdes' best test, and it was going to be the best team we had lined up against for several weeks.
Yeah.
And so that's always kind of hard too, I think, a little bit when maybe that competition level isn't there for an extended period of time, and all of a sudden, it's hard to like flip a switch and get back into that mode. So, but yeah, no, very proud of our guys coming out and executing and getting the job done.
Yeah, you were talking about executing early. Wow, you got to tell me about how big of it wasn't momentum at that point. It was essentially establishing dominance. The first drive, we were able to force the fumble, played the
Yep.
option perfect. They tried to pitch
Huge.
it. Lincoln Doobie jumped on it one play later. I believe it was the first play. Carter Miller foot race to the pylon, and not many people are going to beat him there. Can you talk to me about
Right.
that initial sequence? Defense setting the tone with the turnover, offense going and scoring first punch.
Yeah, we depending on the week, and what we're thinking from game plan standpoint, sometimes we're looking to take the ball, sometimes we defer and things like that. And a lot of times we start with offense, but we thought it'd be best to put our defense out there to start the game, and give ourselves an opportunity to get the ball coming out at halftime if needed, thinking that it was going to be a little bit closer ball game than maybe what the weeks prior had been. So started with a great kickoff, and pinned them deep there, and then defense coming out on 3 straight plays, and we were very prepared for their option stuff. We had seen Casson early in the year, and kind of had not the same game plan, but in terms of option responsibilities, it's similar that way. At least our alignment's a little bit different because they run a different formation. But assignment wise, our guys have been on point. And so on that play, you saw all 3 kind of levels doing their job at a high level. We had the dive taken care of. We had the quarterback taken care of. He forced the pitch. Our guy that was on pitch came up and kind of forced a bobbled pitch there. The guy wasn't able to handle it cleanly because we were there so quickly. Ball's on the ground, and then you're so used to our Gold Rush defense flying around, swarming to the football. Lincoln Doobie was there on the spot to pick that thing up. We gave him a hard time. We said, we moved the offensive line for a reason, obviously, with those hands trying to pick that thing up. We thought maybe it was going to be a scoop and score. It took him a couple tries there. But no, he did a great job securing that thing. And then sure enough, like you said, 1 play later, Carter Miller into the end zone. So could not have asked for a better start to that football game for sure.
Just a bunch formation on that right side, used that dominating wide receiver blocking. I think it was Turner, Cheddar, Malone maybe out there. Just incredible. We've talked about that over and over. So it was 8-0 going into the second quarter. I think kind of a recurring theme to this game is Lourdes' best defense is just try to keep your offense off the field. It is really what it was 100%. In that second quarter. Luckily, though, we had another touchdown. Helder to Miller was from about the 7 or 8 yard line. You got to tell me about this one. As I called it live, I said he probably didn't even have his fingers on the laces with how fast he got it out of his hands. Is that did he see something pre-snap? Do you think that was the when you say, hey, look for Miller quick out of this, or you don't have to tell me if it's a secret, but
no,
maybe something he saw.
So we haven't played Lourdes in a couple of years now, and so that's always the thing a little bit too. When you haven't played a team in a while, you're going on past experiences and maybe how they've defended certain things that you've done. And we do a couple of things. We have some new wrinkles or different things we're doing this year than maybe the last time we played them. So to know how they were going to defend some of our sets and formations and things like that, and what we're do well this year, it's a little bit of a roll of the dice, and we're going to guess right on some things, and there are going to be some things that we didn't anticipate or didn't game plan for, especially on a short week, that now we have to make adjustments to as the game goes on. So they certainly did a few things that we had not seen them do against us in the past, from an alignment standpoint, defensively. And Coach Kessler calls the defense over there for him and does an outstanding job. And we knew we were going to be up for a tough test regardless, on Wednesday night there. And so throughout the course of that kind of series, we were adapting to some of the things, some of the alignment mismatches that we thought we were able to get. And actually the play before that, we had seen, we had run a similar formation, and we, between myself and coaches up in the box, we had seen, we had a guy kind of in the slot there that they weren't doing a great job covering. And so we tried to come back to it right away. And, Aiden had seen it right away too. And we try to, give him a little signal there and try to get on the same brainwave. And he saw it as well. So between him and Carter did a great job of just kind of taking that uncovered look, getting the ball out to him quickly, and Carter finishing in the end zone.
And then you have to tell me about probably the most electric play, at least the one I called, the 2-point conversion. Wongan to Cheddar to Malone. I mean, you got our state basketball trio running that 2-point conversion.
Yeah,
gosh, that swinging
lucky.
gate's coming out more than our extra point right now.
Yeah,
Coach May.
And it's awesome because, those guys have, I won't say 100% autonomy in what they're doing out there, but pretty darn
they
close.
think they do.
Well, pretty darn close. I should say, it's all their idea. It's all their idea. We're usually going over it in practice and kind of giving our stamp of approval, I guess you could say. But we give those guys 100% ownership in that play, and it's fun to see, what they come up with each week. Ultimately, they're the ones out there that got to go execute it, and so they got to feel confident in what they're doing. And that was another new one this week. But pretty awesome that they're able to execute that. I kind of gave Henry the fadeaway celebration there after he basically jump shotted that thing to he unfortunately does not have the same throwing prowess that his older brother did. We give Hank some crap sometimes on how that ball comes out. So he did it the best way he knew how, and that was a little floater there to Tegan in the end zone. So it was pretty cool.
Oh, it was awesome. And then if you think about it, we always talk about, why are you showing all these trick plays? And say, if you put them on tape, they got to spend some time to get prepared for it. Just your extra points alone is like a 2-hour practice. You got to get ready for. I don't know what to do. And that's Red Wing, they've had trouble defending our 2-point conversions. Then second quarter, that's last TD of the half. I said, I have note here, big Cheddar interception. Let's talk about that before we get to it looked like he played it perfectly. He was at the linebacker spot. He dropped back in coverage. Picked it off. I was yelling from the booth glaze because Caleb Jansen was behind him, but he didn't
ready
listen.
for it. Little.
Can you tell me about that play? And it got us the ball back, allowed us to, Coach Mueller to get the keys for the old NASCAR package, fire up that engine,
right, and get the ball back in the end zone. No, so that's that was a great example of practice work showing up in a game. So they were in a set that was when they throw the ball. That's a set that they tend to do it out of, or if they're going to throw it, they like to throw some of their passing combinations out of that. And the way we were defending it, we had Hank as kind of that outside linebacker, and then we roll another safety down just outside of him, and based on pass responsibilities. During that week, and even over the course of the season, sometimes Hank was getting a little bit too wide in his pass drop, and he's got help on the outside of that. So we wanted to kind of sit in that window and not get a lot of width. And on that play, he played it perfectly. He didn't get too wide. They ran a receiver right into his zone, and he just was kind of there waiting for it. Quarterback never really saw him, and he jumped that thing and made a great play. So just a huge momentum booster for us. Up 2 scores in relatively tight game, like you said. It was Lourdes did a great job just kind of controlling the football, earning it down the field. Really proud of our defense, not giving up any big plays, but just forcing them to earn it, and then eventually finding a way to get off the field. So they did a great job getting us the ball back there with an opportunity to put one more in the end zone before halftime.
It was like Cheddar had an earpiece in listening to our live broadcast, because the play before he intercepted that, from the previous play to that one, that like 45 seconds was filled with Coach Meyer and I talking about how instrumental Cheddar has been to our team, like the
Oh,
work he's
perfect.
put in to build his body, like
Nice.
what he's contributed. And then he picks it off and made us look like
Perfect.
geniuses. Then it gives us the ball with a couple minutes left. I think 2:19 left. We go to that NASCAR package, move it down the field. Helder, I have it right here. Helder to Wongan through one of the tightest windows that
Oh
I've
my
seen. It
gosh.
looked like he was waiting for Wongan to clear one of the defensive backs that was up, and he fitted on the right side of him, but not yet to
Yeah.
the cornerback. I mean,
Yeah.
it was impressive,
Not
and we can talk more about Helder and what he did later, but just that throw in particular,
Yeah.
incredible.
So not a great I guess you could say play call or look into how they covered it. So we tried to
Mhm.
single Wongan over there to the field side and get a one-on-one situation, and essentially Lourdes left a outside linebacker and a safety. So it was almost like not triple covered, but three guys with eyes on them out there.
Yeah.
And we had a bunch set back to the boundary side, and we had a combination over there. And I was kind of I wanted to get Aiden's attention and be like, hey, maybe let's not try to go into
Yeah.
3-on-1, and we don't have a ton of space back here to the boundary, but we can maybe get a little bit safer throw and get to the next down. Last thing we want is a turnover there in the red zone. And but then just credit to two guys going out and making a play, just kind of superior athletes, going out in space. And Aiden did a nice job of just kind of buying enough time. Big credit to our offensive line, giving him enough protection, all right, to let that kind of play develop, and just a lot of trust. That's two guys that have played a lot of sports together, right, between football, basketball, and everything else, and a lot of trust there. And Aiden just let Parker kind of continue to work across the back of the end zone there, and proud of Parker to continue to fight to find a window to stay open. A lot of guys would maybe stop or quit on the route, but he just kind of kept working there. And, Aiden stuck his foot in the ground and put a ball, like you said, through a pretty darn tight window in about a perfect spot right on his chest. And then Parker to finish that catch through contact. Big touchdown there before halftime for sure, especially getting the ball coming out after half then as well.
Absolutely. And that's 8 straight regular season games. Every game this season, Parker Wongan has had a touchdown. He's been ultra impressive. First half, go into halftime up 22-0. The note I have here, some big red zone stops by our defense. You alluded to it just a little bit earlier. We had the field goal that they missed, but there were a couple fourth downs, I believe, that they didn't convert as well, deep in our own territory. And so Lourdes, give them credit. They were a formidable opponent, and they had the potential to make this a very nerve-wracking game for us. But our defense, I talk about it often, bend but don't break, and that's what the first half was all about for Coach Haynes' defense.
Yeah, and they really, they were challenged for the first time in a while, coming off of 4 straight shutouts. A huge credit to Lourdes and especially their offense and their offensive line. We knew kind of their defensive line was the strength of their team. But in my opinion, by far the best game of the year that they had played. And I think, Coach Kessler would probably say the same. But they came out playing really, really well compared to maybe what we had seen on tape or on film leading up to that game. So really impressed with their effort and the way they executed. And like I said, though, our defense just really sound from an alignment standpoint and assignment standpoint all the way down the field. They were getting maybe 3-4 yards a carry, converted a couple third and shorts to extend drives. But it's really, really hard for a high school football team to go drive down the field 10, 11, 12 plays and finish a drive without making, a mistake that can kind of kill or end a drive. And just really proud of our defense for sticking with it, making them continue to earn it, and eventually kind of got to that point maybe where we got two stops and they got to a third and medium, third and long situation, or force them into a fourth down and having to make a decision to, either field goal or go for it on a fourth and medium or a fourth and short. And, then we had the one missed field goal, and then defense got off the field, I think 2 other times. So just a great job, of that defense sticking with it and staying positive. No one hung their head or got down that they were moving the ball a little bit, but they just hung in there until eventually we got the stop. So yeah, great job by the defense there. We say defense wins championships, and I would say our defense was a huge part of winning that district championship on Wednesday night for sure.
Oh, absolutely. And we've talked 39 episodes. You know what's coming out of my mouth next, and it's that there's not much I love more than having the ball at the end of the first half and starting it out with the ball at the second half. You deferred
Yeah.
the coin toss, like you said. You put the defense out there. They came through for us in a big way. Then we get the opening kickoff of second half. Dylan Scanlon, darn near houses it. Takes it like 65, 70 yards. Can you tell me about that electric play? I mean,
Uh,
this to kickoff return, unfortunately, because your defense has been so good, they get one, four of the last 4 weeks.
yeah, I
So
think
this was
so.
their fifth one in 5 weeks, but they
Right,
seem to
that's
take
it.
advantage every time.
Every single time. Well, and Scanlon, we had not got him on the field probably as much as I would have liked there in the first half, just with a limited number of plays that we had offensively because of the time of possession. And so he was really fresh coming out of halftime there. And we know how dangerous between him and Carter Miller are. So it's like, pick your poison back there. And it happened to, be in Scanny's hands, and that kick return team does such an outstanding job with their assignments. Regardless of how a team, whether they squib it or kick it deep or try to pin us to a sideline, whatever they do, our guys are able to find a way to go create an explosive off of that kick return team. And sure enough, we give Scanlon a hard time. 2 times he's been essentially tackled by the kicker,
Yeah.
and prevented a kick return. But in this case, like, it was probably Lourdes' best player,
Ed Lovely. Yeah.
Ed Lovely,
Yeah.
kind of a do-it-all guy himself
Right.
there for their team, was the guy that did a nice job kind of squeezing it to the sidelines. But yeah, no, just an awesome way to kick off that second half, give us that momentum again right away. Short field for our offense, always a good thing. Able to punch it in and go up 4 scores early, especially against the way our defense had been playing, and really forcing Lourdes to drive the ball all the way down the field. We were in a pretty good shape there then after that point.
Yeah, like you said, went up 4 scores. That was after a 20-yard touchdown pass from Helder to Malone.
Oh,
Can you
yeah.
tell me about that play? He had Malone was coming on that backside, going towards the
Yeah,
corner
across.
pylon, and just perfectly placed ball. Nice
Oh,
touch there by Helder.
I told Aiden, probably maybe one of my favorite throws of his all year long. Just when you talk about kind of the situation of the game, the concept that we had, and him working through like his progression, and just how it came out of his hands on the throw. He had to put on Teagan essentially across his body a little
Yeah.
bit,
Because he was moving to his left, I think.
he was
right?
moving. Yeah, yeah. He
Or
kind of did a
moving
nice job fitting in
place.
that pocket,
Right.
but that receiver was kind of working,
Yes.
from Aiden's right to his left, across the field there. And that was a 25-yard throw or so through the
Yeah.
air, just on a dot there in the back of the end zone. Teagan making a great catch against really tight coverage. So outstanding throw again by Aiden. We've seen that all year out of him, and shouldn't be a surprise, but it's still, it's hard not to smile when you sit there and watch those guys make plays like that in the field. It's so fun to watch. But yeah, great job by him and Teagan finishing that drive off there and putting us up big.
Looked like a tight spiral from where I was at.
Yeah.
Then what we talked about a little bit in the first half, but even more apparent, and I don't have the stats I memorized, at least not yet, in terms of time of possession, but the second half, it felt like we rarely got the ball. I know that we got the ball back one time. We had a huge run, unfortunately fumbled. So then that was another drive killer. But I mean, like, it didn't feel like, as the offensive play caller, did you feel that? It felt like our defense was out there an awful lot the second half. Again, only allowing 6 points though.
Right. And that's huge, right? Is scoring defense. That's the biggest thing. Like, at the end of the night, the scoreboard, 6 points. Yards are, not overly important necessarily, as long as you're keeping the other team out of the end zone. But it's tough when you're, because there's one of two things: either we were scoring quickly, and not necessarily being able to get a great flow with the play calling and stuff like that, or in the second half we had, I think we scored. I can't remember if we stopped them. They had a long drive. We got off the field, and then it was like the first play. We had the explosive run by Carter, and then fumbled and get right back. And then they ran out the end of the third quarter, and it was like, we still had like single-digit plays in the third quarter. Then at that point, I think we only had 33 plays.
Three plays in the third quarter, but
3 plays, right? And we had 33 plays for the whole game.
Jeez.
And I think Lourdes had close to 60.
Yeah.
So when you look at yards per play, we had similar total yardage in the game, but yards per play, we were really explosive when we had the opportunity. So, it's tough, but really really proud of our defense for just, no one made an excuse
Yeah.
or complained or anything like that. They just went out and continued to get the job done. So, yeah, it's complementary football. When one, if we're not able to either control the ball offensively, or we're scoring quick, or we just don't have that many opportunities, defense, stepped up and played great. Special teams played great against a really good football team, and everyone just did their job to get the job done.
You talked about Lourdes probably playing their best game of the year, and I'd have to agree. I watched several of their games just in pregame, or essentially prepping for the broadcast, and I thought they were outstanding. And really, where I think they surprised me is their ability to throw the ball. There were a few times where they had us. They got us looking and peeking into the backfield, and they got behind us. And for a couple of reasons, either the throw was just a tiny bit off, going off fingertips, but Lourdes probably looking back saying, gosh, if those 2 or 3 plays go a different way, it might be a totally different ball game. I'm guessing if things, obviously seeding, anything can happen in high school football, but we may see that team again.
Yep.
And so, kind of looking back on the game overall, I mean, that was a tough game for the district championship, but that's what we expected.
That's what we expected, right? That's what we expected. And maybe people didn't expect as much just based on some of their game results coming in. But it's a quality football program, that's going to step up and play well in a big game. They've played in those games before, and they got a great coaching staff that's going to prepare them. So, we expected that type of game, for them to give us their best shot. We didn't think we were going to walk out of there with a blowout and, keeping our starters out in the second half or anything like that. Right. So we knew we'd have to go earn it. And, if we get an opportunity to play them again, I would imagine a similar type of ball game for sure.
Yeah. Big time heavyweight fight. So you got to tell me what it's like. You shake hands after the game. You're walking in like a tiger on the prowl, coming into that big group of guys, and they absolutely explode as you finish the drive for 25. I said it's complete. Well, the three-peat is complete too. 3 straight undefeated regular seasons, 3 straight district champions. 4 of the last 5 years, you went 8-0 or undefeated. What is it like walking into that huddle and those guys exploding? I just have to update my shirt if you don't mind. You probably 2020
to pick it up a little bit. Oh, good. Yeah, we'll have to get you. We got to get you an updated district champ shirt for this year. Yeah,
I can just keep replacing this every year.
We'll update the wardrobe there a little bit for you. No, it's special, because we spend so much time together and put so much work in together, and there's so much love and trust there between all of us in the group. And it's when a collective group works that hard for something, and you achieve the results that you're hoping to get. It's such a great feeling of satisfaction there to know that all that hard work meant something in terms of a result standpoint. Ultimately, our big focus is the person that you become through that process is going to outweigh whatever results that you're going to get. We're not our worth and our value is not tied to the outcome of a football game necessarily, but it's certainly nice to be rewarded for those efforts. And so very, very proud of each one of those players that were in that huddle, regardless of their contribution, big or small. Everyone played a role in our success, and it's been that way now for the last 3 years, and a pretty special moment again for our program, and hopefully we'll got a couple more of those yet to come here yet this year.
Yeah, what are you trying to make Coach Razzle cry here? I mean, perfectly said. Gosh, that was incredible. When I look at this game, there are a couple players that just jumped off. I won't say tape because I just watch it live, and then you guys probably break down and do however. But just watching the game, I wrote down the players that I thought were outstanding, and I couldn't pick a top one. I actually have it written down 1A and 1B because I thought they played out of their minds. Incredible. The first one, I got to tell you, Lincoln Doobie, 7 tackles, fumble recovery, a tackle for a loss. But every time, I swear, he was disrupting plays. He was shooting through the line. I saw it looked like Coach Meyer and I were talking that his wrestling, the hands and his ability
how strong
to
right? Just that. Yeah.
Lincoln Doobie
control
was
at the point of attack.
Wednesday night.
He was.
Can you tell me about 1A Doobie?
He's been, he's not always gonna flash on the stat sheet, like he did necessarily, because it's just gonna depend on, game reps and what do they call when you're in, right? And you're gonna get some games, you're gonna get more opportunities than others. But he's a guy that just, comes to work every day and has improved so much from, week 1 up to this point. He coming into the year, we knew he was going to be a good player, but we didn't know, I think, to the extent of how impactful of a player he was going to be on both sides of the ball, as a starting offensive guard and, making a huge difference there on that dominant defensive line that we got. But he played outstanding. He just does his job every single night, takes advantage of the opportunity that he gets. And when like we talk about that fumble recovery and he had a couple of tackles for loss and things like that. It's just, when that preparation and the opportunity come together for him, and he was able to show off a little bit there on Wednesday night. So very proud of him and the game that he had. He makes it easier for us to win football games, but makes it easier for his teammates to go out and be successful as well, because he does his job at such a high level. So very, very proud of Lincoln, and looking forward to watching him continue to compete this year.
Yeah, his motor is what I just love on the defensive line. It looks like he never stops. And that's what I love, is just like whoever's in front of him, like, is this kid ever going to quit? And he doesn't. He just keeps going and going.
Keeps going.
1B, we've talked about him already, and I know this is going to be no surprise to you. A guy named Henry Cheddar. He had an interception. He had 7 tackles, 2 for loss. He was so instrumental keying on that option defensively. Offensively, he ran that patented Henry Cheddar middle screen. I don't know if it's the middle Y screen or what it's called.
So good. He
almost took that one all the way to the end zone, gave me an option. I know Caleb Jansen absolutely pancaked some guy in that play, but Henry Cheddar, unbelievable game for him against Lourdes in this district championship.
Yeah. And that's, just a great way for him to cap off kind of his regular season senior campaign for him. He's been great all season long on both sides of the ball. He rarely comes off the field on either side, because he is such an impactful player and means so much to what we do defensively and offensively. Defensively because of his athleticism and his length and size, and just his high football IQ, playing that Sam linebacker, outside linebacker for us, is so instrumental in what we do, not only in the run game, but in the pass game as well. It really has to be a hybrid type player that does a lot of things well. And it's a tough position to play, and a very important position to play. You think back, guys in our program that have played that, Parker Clavetter and Colton Parker the last couple of years, guys who have been out in space, and had to make plays. Ian Hoot last year as well, a little bit, but so Henry's kind of stepped into that role this year and done an outstanding job for us defensively, and then offensively he's just whatever the team needs to be successful. He's had a couple big nights with some amazing catches and scored a couple touchdowns this year, and other weeks where he just does an outstanding job blocking on the edge for his other wide receivers or for our running backs in the run game and the pass game. And again, just a hybrid for us on the offensive side, whether it be in the run game or the pass game, just doing a lot of things so well, and makes our offense so versatile in what we want to do. So across the board, just an outstanding job, and no better kid, out there, just the way he treats his teammates and the leader that he is, on and off the field, the student that he is in the classroom at school, and how involved he is with different stuff. Just an outstanding young man, and very proud of him and all his accomplishments, for sure.
I'll tell you, we talked about the interception. We talked about the highlight reel catch. Maybe my favorite play of his was actually Blake Turner's. It was a pass, like a quick pass up the middle seam, and Cheddar was just outside of him in the slot. And Cheddar was like, and a heat-seeking
in front
missile.
of him, didn't he?
He saw safety in front of him, and he said, I got this guy.
Right. Yeah. He looked so fast on that play. As soon as Blake caught that thing, right? And that's him, right? It's like, okay, now what do I got to do to go, get an explosive for my teammate? That was pretty awesome. I remember seeing that as well. And it kind of jumps off the screen at you when you see him go accelerate and go pick that guy up.
Yeah, we joked, was it last year, maybe the year before, on Cheddar's speed, growing like a tree, going like a tree.
Right, coming along.
I think he saw it.
That's right. He ran. We sprinted yesterday in practice, and he had a PR. He was at 20 miles an hour. So
holy cow! It's wristband moving. Then, right?
That's wristband. Yep. That's a new one. So he was cooking a little bit.
That's awesome. Another couple guys on defense, I think I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about him. Grayson Schneider was fantastic. 8 tackles, made so many plays, even coming from the backside, running guys down. Just a fantastic game by Schneider. Caleb Jansen, I thought, was outstanding. 7 tackles for him. Had pancakes. There was a flare, I think it was a throw maybe to Wongan to the left side on the Lourdes side. And
Yeah, a little
man,
screen out there, just went
Jansen
and
came over and that
buried
cornerback
the
was just
corner.
lined up. And
Yep.
then one of the few passes that Lourdes did complete, this one was to Pearson on our sideline. Caleb Jansen ran like 30 yards and I was like, step out of bounds. What are you doing? Like
Yeah,
Jansen
nope.
is coming. Hide behind Coach Mueller and
Right.
just, take your
It's gonna
yardage.
hurt.
But those two guys were incredible. And we talked about this guy before, quarterback Aiden Helder, 101 throws for 101 completions, 141 throws, 0 interceptions, still taking care of the ball, 28 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. I just think that's incredible. But what I love about Helder, use all 3 of his touchdowns, if you think about it. Miller, pre-snap read, quick out of his hands, quick decision making, right? Second pass, a tight window, the accuracy that he needed to zip that in there to Wongan. And then third, like you said, move into his one side, the touch that he throws, the quickness, the accuracy, the touch that he put on those balls. And then to be honest with you, some of the throws that I didn't even talk about, maybe is most important. First down, when we were in the red zone, right before he threw it to Wongan, he was moving around. Our big cats gave him about 8 seconds worth of time, but he ended up throwing it out the back of the end zone. Just that maturity, like, hey, let's just live to make it. We got like 30 seconds left. Just throw it out of the back of the end zone. We got 3 more plays. Instead of trying to force something to understand the situation and do that. Helder, absolutely fantastic. Like I said, 101 for 141. I believe that's like 72 or 73%, 1,482 yards, 28 touchdowns. Just incredible, though. Again, Lourdes just managing the game.
Yeah, he had another complete game, and he's really put together probably one of the best, regular seasons as a quarterback in Stewartville history for sure. We've been fortunate,
which is saying something, right?
Which is saying right. We've had quite a few over the last 10 to 12 years, and he this one was right up there with the best of them for sure. But like you said, all 3 touchdowns, and I think that's a great point. Just 3 very different throws, and showcase what he can do, with his arm, the arm talent that he has. To be able to put the ball in so many different spots and use his feet to extend plays and use his head to make great decisions. Just a great job, by him being able to bring to life, everything that we try to do offensively. And we're certainly blessed to have him back there, making those calls and putting all our guys in the right spots to be successful. So great regular season for him, and obviously would be a big part of our success moving here forward in the playoffs and win a couple more football games.
Yeah, like you said, the type of throw that he makes a decision. If he would have tried to put a juice on that throw to Malone wouldn't have been able to run underneath it. I think it probably would have sailed out the back of the end zone. I think then we go to 4th down and we have a decision to make. So just incredible of knowing which throw to make at what time and where to put it. Just love watching him play. Parker Wongan, 8 straight games. We talked about him, 8 straight games with a touchdown. Can you give me some inside scoop just real quickly on Parker Wongan? I'm seeing that he's getting some campus visits for college. Grayson Schneider is. I see even Blake Turner making some appearances.
There,
Coach is salivating. But Parker Wongan, do you know what position? He can do everything. The guy can do everything. You could put him on your golf team. You can play basketball, safety, wide receiver. Do you know where colleges are looking at him for potentially the next level if he decides to go football?
Yeah, it's probably depends on the program a little bit and how they see him fit. And that would be, he could probably tell you more based on what he's talked with some of those coaches on those visits. But I think if you asked him, where would he like to play?
Yeah.
If he had a choice, I think probably wide receiver.
Sure.
Would be the position that he would want to continue to play football at. But like you said, such a amazing athlete and so versatile in what he can do. He checks a lot of boxes just from the size and speed and athleticism component, right? There's a lot of super talented high school football players that are really, really good that may or may not have the size that a college football team is looking for based on their position. Fortunately, Parker meets most of those needs. And so, he's got that size and speed and the ability to go play that position at a really high level. And, we're seeing him showcase those talents, for us on Friday nights. And fortunately got, a bunch of games hopefully left yet this year and one more season yet coming back for us. So crazy to think that, he's still only a junior in high school and what he's done up to this point and where he could go be after this. But very proud of him and his work and his improvement. I think the other thing to remember is he's only been playing this position for, not even two full 2 full football seasons
Right.
yet. He was a quarterback up until last year. And so, we really saw the kind of that exponential growth, I think, out of him this year, drawing back on that experience last year, really learning the position through last season, and now being able to take off and showcase his ability on the field.
Yeah, fun to watch. Your offense is fun to
Yep.
watch. Defense, even your special teams, no matter how many limited opportunities they get, they still bring the crowd to their feet. Absolutely love it. And we get at least one more, if not more, opportunities to showcase the incredible team that you've put together. Tuesday night, which this will air Tuesday morning. Tuesday night, Red Wing at home in the section quarterfinals. We will have to win 3 games now with 8 teams in our section.
Yeah.
Red Wing will be our first match, and then probably because we'll do 2 games before we get another episode in.
Yep.
The other half of that, kind of that 4-team bracket, Stewartville, Red Wing, that's us, Lake City, Pine Island. That second game, if we can get by Red Wing on Tuesday night, we will play Saturday at 2 p.m.
Yep.
Can you talk to me first about Red Wing? And we've played them already.
Yep.
It was on the road. This one's going to be at home, which is kind of funny because when I look at these teams, Red Wing, I didn't call a game for this year. You played that one on the road. And if we play Pine Island, I haven't called that game. So I got to prep for more teams instead of just,
2 new teams,
just copying and pasting all my notes from before.
make
But
you
Red
earn
Wing,
it a little
Tuesday
bit.
night.
Yeah, Red Wing Tuesday night. So it'll be fun to host a home playoff game. We get to host 2 home playoff game, hopefully, here this year. In the past, we'd had that bye on Tuesday, so it certainly presents a little bit different of a challenge for us in terms of our kind of preparation and our game week. We're used to having a couple of days off to really rest and recover after a regular season, which is huge, to be able to have a bye before that first round playoff game and just being healthy going into that. But we'll make the best of it, and the best part about football is going and playing the game, right? So we look forward to the opportunity here at home on Tuesday against Red Wing, and they got a couple good players. Hartman, their quarterback, number 7, is probably the best all around player. He plays quarterback for him, and then plays linebacker for him, and so he's a guy that they lean on for their success on both sides of the ball. And they struggled a little bit this year. They had 1 win in their first game, but had a couple close games after that. And we know they're going to come in and give us their best effort. Certainly playoffs, it's win or go home, right? So all those, especially those seniors, they're going to be giving everything and leaving everything on the field. So we got to come ready to play and be prepared. The biggest thing for us is we want to come out and play a clean game and execute and play up to our standard, regardless of that opponent. So that's the big thing I'm kind of looking for at our guys is making sure we play a high level and execute well on a short week coming off of Lourdes, and knowing that we would have a short turnaround again on the game after that. But that's probably the biggest thing is executing at a high level, staying healthy, and hopefully win the football game.
Yeah, you talked about Reed Hartman, their quarterback, senior quarterback, running back Adam Rowe, somebody to look out for. Keegan Knutson made a ridiculous catch against us on the sideline. He's a wide receiver. Cameron Walker, I read about him, is their left tackle, actually plays soccer and football. He's their goalkeeper for soccer. So if you want to line, Brecken Rester up at left tackle instead of Zippy, what do you think of that?
Get a one-on-one battle there between the soccer guys on the football pitch instead of the soccer pitch. That would be.
And they're both goalies, right? Because Rester's
probably big dudes then, right? Yeah, Rester's no small dude himself. We saw him on that fumble recovery on the kickoff at Pine Island, where he was dragging a couple guys behind him there. So good stuff.
So I have to ask you, nephew, big Tuesdays with Mueller fan. We don't have to say his name, but nephew over sister's kid lives in Red Wing. What side of the field is he going to be sitting on?
So I'll say this, my nephew and my sister recently moved to Red Wing, and big fans of the show, and listen to Tuesdays with Mueller, and absolutely love listening to you bring the juice and the energy. And
I think it's somebody else
they watch from home. Wow, they watch the broadcast from home when they can't come to games and stuff like that, so they know who you are. But no, my sister was telling them that Stewartville plays their first round playoff game against Red Wing, and my nephew just said, "Mom, it's okay if we like our town, but we don't have to like the football team too."
That's right.
And so I laughed pretty hard. Smart guy. I'm like, I appreciate it, buddy. The support. So yeah, they're Tiger fans on Tuesday night for sure.
Yeah, the support. That's one of my favorite things about your family, the support that they show for you. You see them at football fun night a lot of times. I mean, Erin, all the sacrifices that she makes with the 3 kids, seeing Brody up against that fence just waiting for dad. Coach Razzle got a picture with him with the sunglasses
He
on him.
did,
So
yeah,
he was pumped up to watch his dad. And I said, "Hey, are we going to win
Yeah.
tonight?" And he says, "Yeah." He didn't give me a spread, but he was confident in your boys. So
Sure.
that's cool to see. And I tell him, hopefully in 6, 7, 8 years, I'll be calling his games up in the booth. That'd be really
Yeah.
cool.
No, he'd be pumped for that for sure. No, it's great to have, they couldn't do it with all the support, the sacrifice, I think, most people don't really know what goes into it unless you're intimately involved and a part of it. And, so I just can't thank Erin and my family enough for the time that they give me up to come do this job at a high level. It's extremely demanding. And even when I'm at home, a lot of times my mind isn't, and then it's tough during the football season on the entire family for sure. And so it's, I can't thank her enough and love them to death. And special when we're able to go, like I said, be successful then and celebrate after all the work and the time that goes into it for sure.
Yeah, everybody's favorite Mueller. It seems like his coach Pops. They're always like, "That's incredible. He drives all the way down to help out with practice, and he's there."
Yeah.
And I said, "Yeah, he's a great guy, and obviously he's passed on the football tradition to you, Hall of Fame dad,
Right.
and soon to be, or whenever you decide to hang it up.
No.
If you're not in the Hall of Fame, I'm going to write a
early
letter
for
to
that.
somebody."
Too early for that. We'll see.
Well, how about this? Incredible, the program that you've built for the last 5 years. Get rid of that COVID year. It shouldn't even count. That was garbage.
Yeah.
How that happened. 4 of the last 5 years undefeated. 25 straight regular season games. Went to state last year, looking to try to make a run this year. 3-peat for district champions. Know what Coach Hain would tell me? It's not by accident.
That's right. Everything's intentional, not by accident. We're here for a reason. So excited to make this this playoff push this year. Special group, and looking forward to big things yet to come.
I'm going to have to let this guy go. He said it, short week. This will air Tuesday morning. We play Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Schaefer Field. Look for Coach Mueller or Stewartville Football's Twitter page and when the Tiger Walk is going to happen. And then it's probably going to be 15 minutes after that anyway. No, but get there on time. You never know.
Don't miss it. Yeah, just in case.
If you can't make it, Kurt Hughes, the school came through for us in a big way, got us the paperwork done. He said we're broadcasting. I guess it'll go live at 6:40. That's when we do our Tiger Nation pregame show. Aaron Meyer and myself will be doing that. So we'll be able to bring you Tuesday's game. If we make it through there, I believe we'll be able to do Saturday's game, and then it'll be up in the air for that section championship. I know we got to do it last year, one of my favorite games to ever call, going back to the state tournament for the first time since 2015. But all we can ask for is right now, we just want to go 1-0, Coach.
That's right.
Just 1-0.
Right. Yep. Survive in advance. That's the biggest thing. 1-0 with the playoffs. Looking forward to the challenge and pumped to get after it here.
There's no team I'm going to be cheering harder for. There's only one team I do cheer for. It's the Stewartville Tigers. But we're going to let the GOAT go and start getting prepared for the game on Tuesday night. It's 2 days from now, 48 hours. I'm so pumped already. I can't believe it. I've got all my notes here ready to go. But we're going to let him go one more time for the head coach of our undefeated regular season, 3 years in a row, and district champion, Stewartville Tigers. He's Garrett Mueller. I'm Adam Peterson. Tune in next time for Tuesdays with Mueller. Take care, Tiger Nation. Those boys are athletic too, as he's going to fake that one to Peterson. Chatter has a pitch on, ball's on the ground. Oh, we got somebody picking it up. Is that Doobie? What a play! Lincoln Doobie is going to get the turnover chain, but we got Trips Bunch to the right. We got Carter Miller in the backfield, Parker Wongan and ISO on left. They're going to hand that off to Miller on the right side. He's got a whole host of Tigers. He's going to dive for the end zone. He's got it. One play for offense already in the end zone as Carter Miller uses that insane speed of his and gets to the edge. But thanks to all those boys pulling from the left side, that bunch formation on the right, our wide receivers are the best blocking wide receivers in the district. They got out in front of him, and Carter Miller was never touched. We'll see if Haynes sends the pressure up the middle. He does. Who was that? Lincoln Doobie! Are you kidding me? Pitched it! But we got all sorts of guys there. Blake Turner! What a play by Lincoln Doobie to stop the quarterback. And then they pitched it thinking they got an insurance policy. And big Blake Turner, the Tiger King, steps in and says, "No soup for you."
That's a
philosophy. Sellner's gonna hand that one off to Kim Ballou, and boy, Lincoln Doobie stops him. Wins first down, and that's gonna be Wongan and Mueller to the left. Helder's gonna throw that one quick to Miller. Probably the quickest little slant you've ever seen. And that's enough for another touchdown for Stewartville. 5:22 to go in the second quarter. And boy, it was just a quick, as soon as Helder got it, he didn't even have his hands on the laces. Just quick zip that out to Carter Miller. And look at this, we got a different formation. We got Cheddar lining up behind Wongan. Are they gonna run like an option or something? Malone pitches it to Wongan, who pitches it to Cheddar, who throws it to Malone! Are you kidding me? A little razzle-dazzle! Never hurt anybody in Tiger Nation! As Coach Mueller and Coach May are pumped down there. You're gonna see Coach May flexing. Under center, he's got two backs behind him. He's gonna pass this one, it's a screen. Oh my gosh, what a play by Dino to read that one like a book! He was coming on to make the tackle when the ball was in the air. That hard work put in the weight room where he's put on a lot of muscle. He's a solid 180, 185, and obviously he's got a little bit of that Cheddar height to him, 6'3", 6'4". It's going to be 3rd down and 8. Sellner's going to drop back to pass this one. He launches it to the middle. Oh, picked up by Cheddar! We just told his name, and now he's making something happen. Glaze! No! I was hoping he was going to pitch it back. I think Jansen was right there. Maybe take one for the Homestead. Helder's in the shotgun. He's got Turner and Malone near side. He sends Turner in motion. Cheddar and Wongan on the far side. He swings that. Oh, middle! That middle screen to Henry Cheddar! And he's got his big push! Oh, Caleb Jansen says 99! And Cheddar gets all the way down to the 4-yard line! As Caleb Jansen absolutely pancaked the guy!
See if that continues or what adjustments were made by both coaches.
Dylan Scanlon's going to touch it. Every time he touches the ball, there could be fire that happens with the way that he runs it. Boy, he finds a seam, and he might just do it! Is he going to break this? Oh, Lovely tackles him at the 20-yard line. It's like catching lightning in a bottle when I said that. Helder moves Miller behind him. He's going to fake the handoff, rolls a little bit to his right, has all day. He's going to throw it back to Tegan Malone. What a catch over the shoulder! And boy, that was a pretty ball. You could see how tight the spiral was from the Dan Simmons broadcast booth. And boy, Tegan Malone brought it in right before the corner and fell down. Sellner throws the out to Pearson. He stops before the sideline and gets upfield. And boy, Caleb Jansen delivers a hit that almost sends him onto the track. That's the time when you see 52 coming with a whole head of steam that you quick step out of bounds and hide behind Coach Mueller. That's a Turner family thing or what? Here comes Kim Ballou. Oh! Lincoln Doobie! I don't even know what to say. He just tossed him to the ground like a rag doll. There's a toss out to the left side. Oh, Henry Cheddar. Great play by Cheddar. Hank the Tank says no. This is my edge. You're not getting around it. Are you kidding, Coach? The drive for 25 is complete. The Tigers have now run off 3 straight undefeated regular seasons with a 28-6 win over the Lourdes Eagles. I can't believe what I just witnessed this season. I think right now the discussion has to start. You put Garrett Mueller in the Stewartville Hall of Fame. 4 of the last 5 regular seasons, he finishes with a 0 in the loss column. One of the best football coaches in the state of Minnesota. I say he's the best. He's definitely got the best coaching staff in the state of Minnesota. This Stewartville Tiger team, we have the best defense in the state. 4 less points per game. Coach Alex Hain is leading that charge. He's got guys like Caleb Jansen and Grayson Schneider. You got Justice Dino, Dylan Hoot. We have a special teams unit that brings the crowd to its feet. You saw Dylan Scanlon almost house one tonight. We have one of the most prolific offenses you're going to find. Helder at quarterback, 28 touchdowns, 0 interceptions this season. So many weapons, you don't know who to defend. You got running backs lightning fast. Scanlon, Miller, Buntrock. You got a wide receiver room that's been just unstoppable, led by Parker Wongan. I think he's got 14 touchdowns this year. Henry Cheddar, Tegan Malone, the Tiger King, Blake Turner. And it all doesn't work without those big cats up front on the offensive defensive line making this freight train move the way it does. This team will go into sections now as the number 1 seed. And I wouldn't want to line up across from these boys, Coach, because they are playing with their hair on fire right now. I think you need to hide your women and children because the Stewartville Tigers are coming to Section 1 to burn your grandmother's house down. Here he comes running into the huddle. You're going to see him explode. As when you're the greatest high school football coach in the state of Minnesota, they got a name for you. They don't call you a great coach. They call you Garrett Mueller, and now you can call them the